do a little bit of morning painting so I could relax before my work day and so I could put something out there. Um, I have peonies. I have peonies in my garden right now. I've been attempting to grow peonies for a long time. We planted these several years ago, and if you have ever tried to grow peonies, like the first year that they come up, which is like a year after, they don't actually have any flowers, and then the next year they only had it only had last year like I think 2 buds, and I accidentally knocked one of them off, so I had one peony. And then this year I had like 17 or 18 buds, and some neighborhood kids during my daughter's birthday party knocked a couple off, but I still had plenty. It's been raining, so I've brought some inside, and I just keep thinking, like, how beautiful are these, and how freaking difficult would these be to paint? I used to paint flowers pretty regularly, but it's been a long time, so I have several here with me. I'm going to put that back in the vase for now. And they're kind of too tall for me to show you all of them, but they're all similar. They're all pink peonies. And I thought it would be interesting to try to paint them from the side or paint them from above and just play around. I wish I had petal pink, that it would be the perfect color to paint these with, but I do not, because I don't actually use that much pink these days. I do have a really, really dark or vibrant I think, oh my gosh, I just put my thumb in my watercolor because I was trying to bring over my palette for you. I'm going to be using this color just really watered down, which not ideal, but it's what I have. So I will make do with what I have. I am using my size 6 round Princeton Heritage brush, and I'm just really watering down this color. So to make something like this in a fast, like just a fast morning painting such as this, I'm going to have to use a lot of white space because watercolor will bleed into itself if you try to paint wet on wet. So you really just can't do it. I think I need to turn on my light. It's hard to see in here. Let's see. That's that doesn't look awesome, does it? Let's see if there's any other setting that's less abrasive. Okay. I hate all of these settings. I hate them. They just look so weird. But I do want to be able to see. So I think I'm not going for a certain composition. I'm just going for like, hey, let's paint something. So I'm gonna start up here, and I'm just gonna kind of look at this. I should look at it in real life. I see like there's a sideways petal, and then there's some like extending up petals. So what I really, really care about is leaving white space here, because without white space, this will just be one big blob. So I'm kind of making like the petal shapes that I see on the bottom, but just keeping it really loose, and also leaving a lot of that white space. I'm using the top of my brush here, which doesn't have a great point on it anymore because I use it constantly, to kind of make some of those pointed tops. And then I will smush the brush around a bit to make like a little bit of a thicker petal. And on the sides here too, you can see there's some thicker petals. They're kind of layered together. Why is everything I say a question? And then down below, we've got a little bit of that, and we can use our imaginations a little bit, try to make that look a little more even. We've got some coming out this way. And then I'm adding a little Naples yellow. This is not a peach colored peony by any means, but I can do what I want, right? And I will add some dots. Woo, that was probably too much, y'all. That was probably too much. I'm gonna add some dots of colors down below. And I've already got a green on my palette, so I'm just gonna use the green that I had. It's kind of a sagey green. And I'm gonna let these bleed into each other just for that look. And we'll do a leaf down like so. This stem got a little weeble wobble in it because it was growing up against one of the round things that we had to grow. My words can't, I can't talk while I paint, so painting live is probably a really silly idea. It's like a rack thing that keeps them up because they get so heavy, and it kind of grew against that rack, and because of that, grew in a weird like this. Anyway, all right. Okay, so that's a good start. I don't want to go crazy because the whole purpose was kind of fast and loose, right? But I do think that I will add a little bit more petal vibe here, maybe over here, maybe within here. And again, if I was painting and letting everything dry, then I would have plenty of time to go back in. I'm walking away so I can show you an example, like when I was painting flowers. Oh, like some of these, yeah, look at that. Look, I found some. Where are my roses? Like, here are some roses I painted a long time ago with watercolors, but you have to be really patient and let every single thing dry. Here's actually the inside of a peony I painted a long time ago. But you need time and patience. So if you are just looking for fun, if you're just looking to do a quick, like, get out of your head painting session, you can just paint fast and loose like this. You can always go back in and add more details later. There's absolutely no reason that it needs to look perfect or that you need to do it like right now. All right, see, I have this giant one. I don't even know if I can show it on the screen. Whoa, it's a monster. So I'm gonna look at that one and see if I can paint one kind of like head on. It's giant. It's like as big as my head. I'm trying to turn it towards myself. So this can maybe make me get in my head a little bit because of the angle. So I'm gonna pick a petal to start with. Really, please, someone make me order petal pink so I have it. This is the second time this week I have wished that I had petal pink in my collection. The last time I probably had it was when I was painting all those flowers. And then since most of my landscape paintings these days do not involve pink, I haven't re-upped it. I'm kind of trying to create those petals that go around the center cluster. And it's a lot of like kind of C shapes with some like petal details. And then there's some of this. I think so much of painting, especially when it's kind of like fast and loose like this, is just being intuitive, like being loose, fast, just making choices, and then being like, okay, that's what I did. And I kind of love painting like that because it keeps you out of your head. And again, I'm just going around and kind of looking. I'm going in a circle like this so that I can try to keep it relatively sort of uniform. Can I say one more time, I wish I had petal pink? This is too dark. This is too dark. That's okay. I think there are peonies that are this color, right? I know there are white ones. I know there are all sorts of colors. I'm making more petals. I'm leaving white space because the white space. Beep a bop a boop. Beep a bop a boop. The white space is what lets you continue vibing. All right, I need to go up some here, and I maybe should have started this over a little further. Hey, guess what? There's cat hair. So we welcomed a new cat into our home a few weeks ago, and it's been since the fall since we had a cat. And I don't really let our new cat, his name is Jet, into this area because he just immediately starts trying to drink the watercolor water, puts his paws in my palette. But I can tell already there is some of his hair in my world here. And I probably carry it in from the other room too. I'm brushing him every morning, but still. All right, and I will admit, a peony, there's so many, like, how did this flower become invented? I am guessing this was heavily bred in order to like become what it is today. Like, did nature just come up with this on its own? I feel like a human had to probably be involved for better or worse. And they're so complicated. Like, there's so many petals. How can there be so many petals on one gorgeous flower? So what I'm saying is, like, it's hard to even keep track of how many layers there are here. So I'm just doing my best approximation of what it kind of looks like to me. Again, I'll say it for the millionth time. White space is your friend with watercolors, especially when you want to do something fast like this. If I just tried to paint the shape and filled it all in, it would just be a pink blob. There would be no way to differentiate between any of the petals. It would just be one big mess. Yeah, overall I feel pretty good about this. This could probably use a few more details out here. And we'll just have to let people imagine this continues on. And I'm not gonna bother doing a stem, I don't think, because the way that I see this in real life, the flower is so huge that I can't see it. I am gonna add a little pop of color in the middle to some of these, although they are already darker, so. And in real life, just to get it out there, I don't try to paint like super realistically. I try to paint scenes that are happy, scenes that bring joy. Okay, that's pretty good. Maybe I do want to add a little like green. Like I see there's a leaf back here that I see that I could add. Again, not touching. I know I let it touch up there. I did that intentionally. I don't want to do it in this case because I really do want it to look like it's kind of like behind there. And then do a leaf down. That's not a leaf, that's a stem. That's pretty cool. I had fun. It didn't take that long. You may be, if you're new or just getting into creativity, you might be like, well, what is the point? Like, what are you going to do with this? The point is just having fun and enjoying yourself and being like, look what I painted. I do think for the sake, and I mean in your own head, you don't have to show anybody else. You're just like, look at this thing that I made. It's awesome. I do have one more peony over here that, oh, it's attached to the giant one. That's, oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the wobbliness. I think I might just do a side view one like that. That one's pretty simple. It's only really has just a couple of petals. And I'm gonna put it right here. So it's got this one smaller bright petal here. All I am doing, I don't know how well you can see it. All I'm doing is I'm like taking the point and then smushing around with the belly of the brush and then coming back if I need to add a little detail, but it's really just about pushing down, letting go, being easy and gentle. And yes, I smeared some paint up here, so there's a bit of a whatever going on over here. Underneath, there's some interesting darker colored petal things happening. And there are some leaves, which I'll work on in a second. And I can't really draw that lower one. We'll do something here. And then it's just a bunch of like frilly tops, like so. That one's really much darker, isn't it? Let's try to draw some of that color out. Bring it over here. Boop, 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 boop. There. And then I will use a little bit of that green because this has a leaf that goes down and it's got a stem. And we'll just go like that. There. Ta-da! 3 peonies. 3 peonies. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I would love to know what else you want to paint. So in the future, comment on my channel, follow me. I haven't figured out my live schedule. I do have a full-time job, so it seems like it's going to be mornings, weekends, and maybe at lunchtime. But delighted to have you here, and I'll see you soon.